And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Culinary Crisis. Tonight's show we're going to be disturbing the differences between salmonella and a well-cooked meal. But first, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take you back to your childhood. We're going to be starting off with a little bit of jelly today, ladies and gentlemen. Most important ingredient in jelly, of course, is the gelatin, stemming from the Greek word gel, meaning jelly, and tin, which of course is what the gelatin was originally packaged in. What we do is we tear the package open with one swift tear, throw that part to the side. We're going to use only half of the packet tonight, so we just pour a little bit of that in there. Excellent. Of course we're going to pop that back in for later use. Now what we do is we take about 500 milliliters of water and we pour that straight into this container here. Very important, of course, to use room temperature water. Using water that's a little bit too cold will cause the jelly to freeze. Water, of course, that's too warm will cause the jelly not to set at all. It'd be like drinking tea, only jelly tea. So what we're going to do, we're just going to give that a little bit of a stir, make sure it's nicely mixed in. Alrighty then. Now this, of course, is the perfect time to add in a little bit of colouring, because we don't want our jelly to be boring and plain. We did do a vote earlier today, just a phone poll across the lines, and it was determined that red is the colour we're going to be using this evening. So, we simply take one of our dripping straws, a simple, common household straw. We've turned into a dripping straw by adding a name to it. What we're going to do is we're going to place that in there, put your finger over the top just to make sure none of the liquid seeps out, and we're just going to drop that straight in there. One drop should be enough. Wipe that off a little bit and we'll place that down there. Always remember, ladies and gentlemen, to pop the lids back on to the items that you use. Otherwise, of course, you could knock them over and spill them, and then you'd have to clean them up again. So we're going to take our mixing thingy again and we're just going to swirl that around. Very important to get the mix of redness in all the way through. You can half mix the redness in. What that creates is some sort of a swirly jelly, which is a little bit psychedelic. We're not going down that path tonight. So once we've done that, we will also add in a little bit of white sugar. The reason, of course, we're doing this is so that when people eat your jelly, they don't spit it right back out. So once again, the stirring utensil, and it just goes around and around and around. Now some people like to mix things up a little bit by doing a little figure eight with their stirring. I think that's a bit of a waste of time. You can just keep going round and round in a circle until your arm starts to hurt. And that's about it. Alright, what we're going to do now is, of course, we're going to take the jelly, we're going to pour it into our pan that we've just got here. Now the pan has been preset to about 120 degrees Celsius. The reason that we've done that is we don't want the jelly to burn, we want it to simmer at a nice level. I believe as the technical terminology of it is a bloop, bloop, bloop. Boiling is a little bit too far, it's a little bit too hot, and unfortunately what it can cause is the jelly to char on the bottom. Now nobody likes to eat charred jelly, so we'll just keep this at a nice simmer. And once again, it is your choice whether you stir in a figure eight, you can stir counterclockwise, or you can stir clockwise. It is up to you. Personally, I prefer counterclockwise because that's the direction my hand goes when I pick up a utensil. That looks nicely warm. Now, what we're effectively achieving here is we're allowing the crystals from the jelly tin to mix in with the water and the sugar and the colouring to create the perfect jelly. What we're going to do now is we're going to take that off the heat. We'll just pop that down there. And we're going to take our white bowl. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a white bowl, you can also use a yellow one. Green is permissible, but sometimes it does make it harder to see the jelly. So we're just going to pour that in there. Very nice. Make sure you get all of the drips out. Otherwise, of course, once again, you would have to wash something, and we do try to avoid that here at Culinary. So we're just going to let that jelly cool for a little bit. Now, what we do here is we kind of rotate the bowl. This is just so it looks like I'm actually doing something. No, I'm just kidding. What we're doing here is we're allowing the bowl to cool the jelly in a slow and yet even manner. So we're just going to keep that stirring around a little bit. And that's about it. So what we're going to do, let me just show you the uses for our jelly. We've got some jelly that we've pre-prepared here earlier. Of course, you can carve your jelly into blocks, which is very useful for convincing the parents that you do wash with soap. We've also got a jelly cake, which is fantastic for the little kids. You bring it out, they blow out the candles, you cut the cake, they eat the jelly. That's pretty much about it. We've also got some jelly things over here. They're completely different from the cake and from the soap. I wouldn't get them confused. All of this, of course, is edible, which is what we recommend. Finally, we can also pop some of the jelly into our lovely glasses of drinks here. Here we've got red jelly mixed with water. Very nice little ornament. And of course, we've got green jelly here mixed with vodka. That'll be for me later on. And our jelly looks like it's about set now. And that's how you make jelly, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you right after another ad break.